Hey, what's up everybody? ESAM here bringing you yet another video. This one going to be the Panda Global Rankings, or my opinions of the Panda Global Rankings 20 through 11. So everyone kind of knows who these players are based on deduction from seeing like the top 10 wins are this and then they beat this person, so like people have pretty much figured out who the top 10 are, and they 11 through 20, but they do not know the order, so let us go over that. So 20 is going to be Zenodo, 19 Kirihara, 18 myself, ESAM, 17 Renai, 16 Ken, 15 Fatality, 14 Mars, then Void, Tweek, and Salem at number 11. So let me just start going over as I have with the other ones. At the lowest number, number 20, Zenodo. I was actually really surprised that Zenodo made top 20 because this season, at least from like my perspective, was very weak for him. I'm pretty sure he didn't get top 8 at an A tier, he didn't get top 8 at an S tier, he got 9ths, like a lot of 9ths to be honest, but I feel like he never had like a really high peak, but he was consistently at 9th or 13th, and he did farm, not like intentionally, obviously like not for Pgr, but you know, in his region there are the Midwest Mayhems, which are all at least B tier, and he got 1st or 2nd at all of them. He did have a few top 10 wins in Komarakiri, Ally, and then there was one other one I don't remember at the current time, but he beat Como twice, he beat Ally like once at that one of the Midwest Mayhems he won. I think that was the one that Ned beat 0, if I'm correct. I might be wrong though. But so Zenodo honestly like had a pretty weak season. Obviously those 3 wins really help, and the fact that he didn't really have a super low honestly probably helped him, because you know, while I think wow 9th at Combo Breaker, that's bad, losing to 2 people that pretty much are irrelevant in terms of the overall scheme of things with like John Numbers and Dill, right? So like those are pretty bad losses. But at the same time, it's a C tier event, so getting 9th isn't that big of a deal. It's not going to affect his placement score, and he still had a pretty good head-to-head with several people. So I mean, again, I'm surprised that he's this high, but you know, thinking about it and like looking at all of his results, it does make a little bit of sense. I would have put him still around like the 22, 23 area. But either way, you know, top 20 is still doing pretty well. Obviously, he's had like a really hard season. You know, he also beat Salem, which is a really important win, obviously, at number 11. So I hope Zenodo can kind of like clear up what's been happening with his play, because I really honestly don't know what it is. It just seems like, honestly, to me, it seems like one of those things where like he has a team now and he is under a lot of pressure to do well, and then it's been hurting him. You know, maybe it's not that, maybe, I don't know, I haven't really talked to him about it. I was planning to, you know, hopefully he can, you know, clear whatever that is up, get some top 8s this season, and go back to where he was last season. Next is going to be Kirihara at 19, and you guys know, if you have been on my stream, or I think I've talked about it before on the channel, I respect Kirihara so much. He is, in my opinion, a top 7 or 8 player, free, 1 frame perfect, beating 0 twice, and myself, and Como. He destroyed Como's Cloud so bad with Rosa, a matchup that has generally seemed to be really bad, so hard that Como went Marth. And that blows my mind. That's crazy. Just an amazing player, top 8 at Civil War, you know, lost to Buzz and Fatality, so 1 and 2 of that tournament. Really impressive showing. Kirihara is so good. He never really went to tournaments. He started going to locals finally again in Japan, been going to more tournaments in Japan. He's been showing just how strong he is, because oh my god, he's so good. He's so different than Buzz, and both of them, obviously the top 2 Rosas. He's so different from him, but at the same time so effective, and he's so much better. You know, no offense to Buzz, obviously. Like, he's so much better without Luma. Like, his non-Luma play, it's not like he just runs away and gets Luma back. He will just hit you and deal you 50%, and then Luma comes back when you're in disadvantage, and it's like, oh well shit, now there's a Luma. That's really problematic. He is so good at this game. He is so good. It's ridiculous how good this player is, and I respect him so much. You know, obviously the lack of attendance in big tournaments hurt him. You know, he pretty much went to like Civil War, Tokaigi, Frame Perfect. Those 3 are pretty much the main ones. I think he went to the Umabura Major, got like top 8. So pretty good performances for 4, but you know, not enough big wins, not enough, you know, tournaments that kind of like came into the system like at 5, 6, 7, 8, whatever, you know, for the percentage of points. So that's really gonna hurt him and put him at 19, but I know he's amazing. 18 going to be myself, so I'm godlike, but at the same time, you know, I didn't really have a super high. I mean, I got 5th at a lot of A tiers, but I did fairly lackluster at most of the S tiers, getting like 17th, 13th, 17th, didn't go to Narrow Saga. You know, I traveled a lot, obviously. I got a lot of wins at B and C tier events, but not going to be as important as doing really well in an S tier. You know, I got 5th at pretty much every single A tier I went to, with Smash and Splash and CEO Dreamland and DreamHack Austin. So, you know, good results, very good results. I'm very proud of how I did this season, especially considering last season where I did fairly mediocre the whole time. You know, got a lot of top 10 wins. I'm actually really excited, not so for this spot, although something to note is when I was doing my stream for like, these are my predicted results for everyone, I actually put myself at 18, so I'm even more godlike because I guessed right. And that's super cool to me. I was just super happy. I saw the list and I was like, oh shit, I'm right. This is awesome. So at 18, but either way, I'm really excited for this next season because already in like the 3 weeks that the season has been going, I have 2 wins on DeBuzz, I have a win on Samsora, I have a win on Scat. Like those are really good wins, and I'm really excited to see where I'm going to go this season because I'm playing really well, and hopefully I don't slow down. I think I can really get, you know, at least like 12th or 13th next season. Obviously very difficult. You know, my records with the people above me, at least in the 11 through 20, so let's go in order. So Salem, very close 2 sets that I played with him at this last tournament unlocked. You know, Tweek, if I solid on my edge guards, I can win. I've beat Void before, I've beat Mars, I've beat Fatality. Ken is amazing, and I'm super scared of him. Renai was last hit, and then as well as members of the top 10 that I've done relatively well against. You know, I've beat Ally, I've beat DeBuzz, I've beat Nairo. You know, I've done really well versus Leo. I can beat Zero if I want. So all these different players that I can definitely beat, so hopefully I can get, you know, the chance to play a lot of the top players instead of playing the same ones. Like a lot of the time this season, especially when I was doing, like I couldn't beat some of these people, I would always play like Zero, DeBuzz, Zero, like every single time, like no matter what, and then I, like Mr. R and I lost, but it was game 5 last hit, and then Void I lost, and it was last hit one of the times we played. So either way, a lot of potential for me to go up, I feel like, so if I just get my good brackets and I don't have to play the same people over and over again, I can get a lot of opportunities to play those type of people, because hopefully, you know, I will continue to not get upset early in bracket, because that's been the way it is recently. Like I haven't really lost to a random in a long time. Hopefully that keeps up, and you know, hopefully I can move up. So something to note is actually the point difference between myself and Renai, who's the next person, is 0.1. So if I beat him at CEO, or like I beat Raph and then I lost immediately afterwards, I would have had a little bit better of a record, and I would have maybe been higher than him, so that's crazy. But Renai, obviously one of the gods of the game, plays a character that has been, you know, ousted because of DLC. You know, Mewtwo does really well, Cloud does really well, Bayo does really well against this matchup, and he still manages to do incredibly well. Obviously has had some lackluster showings, like he got something like 17th or 25th at Civil War, losing to like Como and QB or something like that, something ridiculous. Like he always loses to amazing players. He never really gets upset by like a bad player. I mean, the lowest player that he lost to last season was like Rich Brown, who at the time was like 23rd, 24th, whatever he was, and also DLC hard matchup. You know, Renai has such a mastery over this game. His results are really good. He does really well in Japan consistently. Again, not like winning, because that's typically like Como and Ken, and those are going to be the main 2 that do well, or like Choco. But either way, just an amazing player. Has such a huge, he just has a breadth of knowledge when it comes to like the amount of the options that his opponents have, and the ones that are more than likely they're going to pick. Like he gets reads on you at the beginning of the game with no prior setup. Like we've played one, like the first time we played, he was able to have like a bunch of my habits already down like in game 1, and I'm just like, how do you do this? This is amazing. He just got a bunch of little options correct, and then it leads to like, you don't have a jump, now you're off stage bowling ball. It's just, he's an amazing player. His momentum is crazy. His ability to nullify your momentum is amazing. Like he's so good. Renai is amazing. And you know who else is amazing, which is the next spot above mid 16? Ken. So again, I think Ken is a top 10 player. He is the best player in Japan, either him or Como, but Ken, absolutely amazing. Finally got top 8 at an American major at CEO, got like 13th or something at Nairo Saga. Just absolutely fantastic player. I mean, the other time he went to America was Frostbite, and he lost to Ally and DeBuzz for like 13th or 17th, which is like, oh no, you lost to 2 really good, like 2 top 10 players, right? An amazing player, has just the best Sonic by so much. He is so good at being patient, being aggressive, just finding the hits, finding the rage kills, finding the anything he needs, because he is so good at this game. I respect him so much. He is the player I want to play the least in bracket. Like anytime I see Ken in anywhere in my predicted bracket, I'm like, oh no, and that's actually, he's in my predicted bracket for Evo, so I'm just like, I really hope either he loses or like I lose in a different round so I don't have to end up playing him, because he is so good. I'm so scared of him. His play is immaculate, and that's really the only thing. He always times his invulnerability. He always catches people being aggressive. He always catches people sleeping when they're not being aggressive with other spin dashes. He's so good. There's no other word I can describe him with, just any positive adjective. So good, amazing, perfect, phenomenal, whatever you want to call him. But Ken is all of those things. He's so good. And 15 is going to be Fatality. So Fatality obviously had amazing showings this season. Second at Civil War, beating a crap ton of people, beating Nairo, beating Como, beating Captain Zack. That's 3 top 10 players already, you know, for this new season. Beat Kirihara, beat, I think there was like 1 or 2 other players, Kome that he beat, just amazing player. But you know, he does things with Falcon that are just so impressive. Obviously he had his run at Momocon as well, where he finally beat Larry Lair for the first time ever, beat Kamame again, beat Zero. You know, he's had so many results this season, and it's not really having any signs of slowing down, because the beginning of the season was pretty slow for him. Then when Civil War started, he just started doing really well. He did have some off tournaments, which would be a CEO and CEO Dreamland. CEO Dreamland got like 33rd, losing to I don't remember in winners, and then Rydia, the Pikachu main in losers, and then did fairly mediocre at CEO as far as I'm aware. I don't know who he lost to, but I know he wasn't like in top 16 as far as I'm aware. So, you know, obviously consistency pretty hard in this game. He had super high peaks, and then his lows weren't even that low, like 17th, 25th, like that's not too bad considering they're almost Smash 4, like even Zero had a 49th, and like Leo had a 65th, and Ally had like a 25th or 30th, and like lost to Komoda. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just happens in Smash 4, so it's not really a neg on him, more so, you know, it's more impressive for the people that are not susceptible to that. So Fatality, obviously amazing. He made his thing up top 15. He really, really wanted top 15, and he got it, so congrats to you, dude, and I'll be above you next time, because I'm the best player in the Atlantic South that's not Salem, because Salem is Dowling. At 14, we're going to have Mars. So Mars, one of the most electrifying players in the entire world, probably the fastest player in the world. I think he is a faster Zero Suit than Nairo, just in my opinion. Absolutely fantastic player, really solid, working on his Lucario for both singles and doubles, so for like bad matchups, and just, he's really good in doubles. For like, just an amazing doubles player overall, in my opinion, absolutely fantastic. The best player in New England, just really, really solid on everything. Had like a weird season, because at the beginning he did fairly well, because he, I think, got like 9th or something at Genesis Saga, and then did okay at Genesis, and then did really well at Civil War where he got top 8, and then like for the rest of the season did kind of okay, and then got top 8 at CEO. So it was really like an up and down season for him. Lost to people like Frozen, lost to Icy Mist, has lost to obviously myself, which like that's not really a bad thing. I'm really good at the Zero Suit matchup. But then he has wins over people like Renai, who he struggled versus. He has, I don't remember how many of the top 10 he beat, but I know he beat Locust when, let's say, Nairo lost to Locust like immediately beforehand. So Mars definitely has some things up his sleeve that Nairo does not have, but you know, the jitteriness of his play is ultimately his downfall, because when something, you know, he needs to play slower and more solid, he's really uncomfortable in that situation just because he's always a really high tempo player, and that can really hurt him, which is why I feel like he's had some of his lower results. But either way, amazing player. Honestly, I thought it was going to be closer to like 17 or 16. Like, I put him like, I think, right above me or right below me on my theory list, which I'll put up like at the end of the video just to compare, because this is the part where I was really trying to like do it accurately. But either way, just amazing player. Hopefully he can, you know, keep up with this, stay top 15, you know, unsponsored. So, I mean, if you want some good value on your team, someone who's watching that as part of a team, that is like someone that can give him money, give him money. He's really good, especially with the unfortunate thing with denial. So, I mean, it'd be really nice to see him represented by an org. But speaking of someone that is really nice to see represented by an org, because he's absolutely amazing and super flashy and such a wholesome person as a whole, is going to be Void. So Void, obviously CLG, had an amazing season, but kind of had, like, he didn't really honestly have that many peaks. Got 9th at Genesis, he top 8'd some sagas, which is good, but at the same time got 33rd at Civil War. I don't think he top 8'd Nairo Saga, he didn't top 8 CEO, so we really didn't have a strong showing at an S tier other than 9th. He did pretty well at a bunch of the A tiers. Again, a lot of the sagas he would get top 8 or 9th or something like that, and then obviously got 5th at DreamHack Austin, whereas I did as well, but he really didn't have like the super high peak performances that we got used to him seeing. Like, he got, what, like 4th at EVO, he did really well at SmashCon last year, he did all those different things. So I mean, maybe as he gets to these tournaments, he will do better and perform better yet again, because obviously Void, an amazing player, no one's doubting that. I was honestly really surprised. When I was making my list, I think I put him at like 10th or something like that, or like somewhere in the high teens, which obviously he is. I mean, he's 13, so he's the highest teen technically. But either way, an amazing player, no one sleeps on him, but something happened, you know, like he would have some like pretty sketchy losses, or just like lose a little bit earlier than expected, especially because considering last year he was 6th or something like that, or 7th, really, really high. You know, a little bit of a drop off, but still an amazing player, no one doubts him, you know, and Void Bear will give you strength, just trust in him, I promise you, Void. Next is going to be 12, and this is going to be Tweek. So this honestly is, in my opinion, the saddest thing about this entire list, because Tweek wanted top 10 so bad. We talked about it at Smash and Splash. He wanted top 10 so bad. I know he can do it, he has the sparks of brilliance, but at the same time, he's had some pretty low lows. Did really mediocre at, again, both CEOs, similar to Fatality, where he, you know, lost to Blank at Dreamland, and then lost to someone pretty early in losers as far as I'm aware. I don't remember who it was. Then at this CEO, lost to someone in winners, I don't remember, and then Rydia, the Pikachu made in losers. So Rydia honestly having pretty high wins, at least now. I mean, so no, I'm actually surprised he wasn't even like in contention for like the 50 to or 51 to 55 spot. But anyway, this is about Tweek. So Tweek has amazingly high highs, has beat Nairo, has beat Zero, has beat Ally as far as I'm aware. I don't remember all of them off the top of my head. Has a bunch of good sets with a lot of top 10 10 player, super top talent. I think has beat Leo in the Ditto. So honestly, with all of his wins, I was surprised he wasn't higher, but at the same time, didn't have a really good peak performance at an S tier event, whereas pretty much every single player above this has. Because he didn't top 8 Genesis, he didn't top 8 Narusaga, he didn't top 8 CEO, and he didn't top 8 Civil War. So that's really going to hurt him in the long run. But obviously an amazing player, does really well at the A tiers, pretty much does top 8 at almost every single saga that he goes to, at least the ones that are A tiers. So obviously he can do it. You know, I really hope he can make top 10 next season because there is almost no one as driven as him in this entire community. And next, at 11 is going to be Salem. So the difference between Salem and Tweek, in my opinion, is the fact that Salem top 8'd 2 S tier events. He top 8'd the last 2, obviously. So CEO and Narusaga, getting 2nd at Narusaga and getting 7th at CEO, and that's a huge deal. Salem also has wins on pretty much everybody. I don't remember if his 0 win was this season, but I do not think it was. But he has beat Leo, he has beat Ally, he has beat Nairo, he has beat Mars, he has beat Void, he has beat Mr. R. He's beat pretty much everyone you need to beat in order to get high on this list. And yeah, he's had some like pretty mediocre results, but even then his mediocre results are like 17th. It's not even like 33rd or 49th like you see a lot of these people on this list have. He is amazing. He is the best player from Florida, which I'm really sad that I have to say that and admit it, but he is, and I'm 2nd, and I will get there and I will beat him, I swear to God, because Game 5 last hit twice is really obnoxious, especially in a timeout. But anyway, just an amazing player, has such a good grasp on everyone's timings. Like, he has been able to grab me more than any other player except maybe Zero. His patience is amazing. His ability to turn on just bam, aggression, absolutely fantastic. It's really hard to get a read on what he wants to do because he changes from defense to offense to like kind of like a middle ground so often, and it's amazing to watch and it's fantastic to play against. Really fun guy. You know, I like him a lot. He's also the best Samus in the world in my opinion, which again, a title that hurts for me to say because I want to be the best Samus, but his Samus, you know, it's not even seen that much, but it is it's so good. Oh my God, he's amazing with that character. And yeah, that is going to wrap up the 11 through 20. I will put the 2 lists up on the screen now so you can compare what I thought was going to happen and what actually did happen. As always, social media, Panda and partner stuff is down below. I'll have the opinions for 1 through 10 out. Congratulations to all the players that were in this. I'm so happy I was top 20 this season. I will go higher next time. Also, I'm going to be making some videos, obviously working on the Pikachu guide, gonna do the Wave Bounce Thunder thing and really explain why it's good, as well as talk about a video in terms of like the tournament structure, or like not the tournament structure, but more so the kind of like economy of the scene right now and why people like should and should stop complaining, or should and should not complain about certain things. And yeah, we'll see you all in those videos. Bye-bye.